live with Tao. From thinking to feeling is the way. There is no need to say, I am existing, I am doing this, I am doing that. Everybody knows and can see that you are doing this. Everybody, I can see that you are sitting. You are sitting in the chair. I know, I can see that you are doing or engaged in this particular act. You know already you are existing. There is no need. You already know you are doing this. You are engaged in a particular act. Doesn't matter whatever it is. Cooking the food, walking on the street, talking to someone, making love, or anything. There is no need to see that. It is futile. Feel it. I am existing. Feeling is a totally different thing. Totally different. Thinking is a part of talking. Thinking is a trick to escape from feeling. It is not only different, instead it is deceptive as well. Very deceptive. What do I mean when I say feel I am existing? I am sitting in this chair. If I start feeling I am existing, I will become aware of many things. The pressure on the chair, the touch of the velvet on the hands, the air passing through the room, the noise touching my body, the touch of the velvet, the air passing through the room, the noise touching my body, blood circulating silently, the heart, the breathing that goes on continuously, and a subtle vibrating feeling of the body. Because body is a dynamism. It is a vehicle to transport you, just as a vehicle is necessary to move from one place to another, so too human body is an important vehicle to transcend you from one level of consciousness to another. Until you attain to transcendence, then you are beyond the body, mind, and intellect. Body is a dynamism, not a static thing. You are vibrating. Continuously there is a subtle trembling, and when you are alive, it will continue. The trembling will always be there. You will become aware of all these multidimensional things happening in and around you. And the more you become aware of many things that are happening, if right now you become aware of whatsoever is happening within you and without you, that is what I mean when I say I am existing. If you become aware in this way, thinking will stop always. Whatsoever we write, it is an expression of thinking, not the expression of feeling. Because when you feel you are existing, it is such a total phenomena that thinking cannot continue. Feeling is more important. In the beginning, you will feel thoughts floating. By and by, the more you get rooted in existence, the more and more you settle down in the feeling of the being. The thoughts will be far away. Right now, you are floating in thoughts. Thoughts of the past, thoughts of this moment, and the next moment. And the more you settled in the feeling of the being, you will feel a distance, as if those thoughts are not now happening to you, and they are not yours. No thought is yours. That is why when someone asks a question, I ask him to ask the questions that are yours, that are emerging from deep within, not somebody else's question. So when I look at someone, whatever the person says, it gives me an insight into where these thoughts are coming from one's own being, or what one has heard, or from other sources. When feeling deepens, those thoughts, you will realize, are not happening to you. They are happening to someone else, very, very far away. There is a distance. And then when you are really rooted, grounded in the being, mind disappears. The process of transformation is the disappearance of the mind. If you are meditatively into any act, going deeper, it is like diving. You can swim on the surface of the water the way you want, but it is a totally different phenomenon. Transformation happens when you dive into the inner depth of the ocean from one spot. You are moving from A1 to A2, A2 to A3. You are moving into depth and floating the way you want to swim, whether with clothes or without. That is irrelevant. That cannot transform you. And the moment you realize these things are happening to someone else, you are very far away, there is a distance. And then when you are totally rooted, grounded in being, mind begins to disappear. My whole emphasis is how to allow or set the process in you that mind begins to disappear. With the mind, all thoughts of the past, present and future starts disappearing. You will be there with not a single word, not a single image. Why does this happen? Because mind is a particular activity for relating with others. Through the mind, you relate with the others. If I am to relate to you, I have to use the mind. I have to use the language. I have to use the words. It is a social phenomenon. It is a group activity. So even if you are talking while you are alone, you are really not alone. You are talking to someone. Even when you are alone, when you are talking to someone, you are not alone. You can talk to yourself. You are not alone. And when you are talking to someone or writing to express your views, you are not alone. How you talk alone? Someone is present in the mind and you are talking to that person. When you are writing something to someone, you are not alone. That person is there with you. I was once reading the autobiography of a philosopher. He relates that one day he was going to take his daughter, who was 5 years old, to school. And after leaving her at the school, he was going to go to the university for his usual lecture. So he was preparing his lecture on the way, and he forgot all about his daughter, who was sitting just by his side in the car, and he started lecturing loudly. I have heard about another philosopher who was the head of the department of the university where I studied. He used to walk from his home to the classroom, university. He always walked with a walking stick. His usual practice was that he will put his stick in the corner as he entered the classroom and will sit down on the chair to deliver his lecture. One day it was noticed that he put the stick on the chair and he stood up in the corner. So when he put his stick in the corner, the stick cannot speak. And now the stick is on the chair, stick cannot speak. So there was no lecture. About him, another situation was when he was walking from his home to the university. He passed through a place that was the residence of a district magistrate. He saw a crowd. He entered there. As usual, he put his stick in the corner and started delivering the lecture, not realizing where he was. So such is the situation. So while the girl was sitting in next to him, he started lecturing loudly. The girl listened for a moment and then asked, "Daddy, are you talking to me or without me? Are you talking to me or without me?" Even when you are talking, it is never without. It is always with someone. You may be writing. You may be writing something with someone. He may not be present, but to you, he is present. For your mind, he is there. All thinking is a dialogue. Whatsoever you write is a thinking, is a dialogue. Thinking as such is a dialogue, a social activity. That is why if a child is brought up without any society, he will not know any language. He will not be able to verbalize. It is the society that gives you any language, and without society there is no language. Meditation is living with oneself, no society, no outer company, and in that no language is needed. Language is a social phenomenon. Writing is a social phenomenon. When you get grounded with yourself. There is no society, there is no other, there is no one. You alone exist. When you are alone, you are unknown, there is no one present other than you. How can mind stay? Mind disappears. This is my entire process. You are not relating to anyone, not even imagining. There is no imagination. Whatsoever you write or wrote is imagination. So, as the mind disappears, imagination too disappears. You are there without the mind, and this is what meditation is. This is what leads to transformation. Being without mind, being perfectly alert and conscious, not unconscious in any way, feeling existence in its totality, in its multidimensionality, but the mind has suddenly disappeared. You are natural, spontaneous, free flowing. And with mind, many things, with the mind, many things disappear. The moment you attain to a state of no mind, many things disappear. With mind, your name, with the mind, your form, with the mind that you are male or female, you are young or old, you are a Hindu, Muslim or Christian, all identity disappear. You are good or bad, everything disappears. All that is labeled on you suddenly is no more there. You are no more identified with anything. You are in your pristine purity at that moment. Pristine purity at that moment. In your total innocence, you are there. In your virginity, grounded, not floating, rooted in that which is. You are not floating on the surface. You are not there. You are just being. Being means you are diving. With the mind, you can move into the past, in your past experiences. Based on that, you will determine, the past determines your present. Past actions, past experiences will decide your present reactions or actions. When the mind, with the mind, you can move into the future as well. Based on your past, a moment comes in to be in the company of someone, you start moving into the future. Without mind, you cannot move into the past or into the future. Without mind, you are now and here. But when you are talking or you are writing, you are swinging between the past and the future. Past that you have known, future that is yet is still unknown to you. What will happen in this company? If I meet this person, what will happen? So you forget the beingness. You forget this very moment. You forget that you are existing in that very moment. Past surfaces and riding the boat of the past, you are moving in an unimaginable future. You skip the present moment. You need not go in any search. Rooted in the moment, rooted in the being, you can be blissful. Only when you are rooted in this present moment, in the being, you are blissful. And this bliss is not something which is happening to you. It is you. You are it. You are nothing else but bliss. But because you are swinging, riding the vehicle of the past experiences, past thoughts, you are using that vehicle to move into the future, skipping that very moment. I am existing. Try it. And you can do it anywhere. Just riding in the bus, or traveling in a train, or just sitting or lying down on your bed, try to feel existence as it is. Do not think about it. You suppose you have to attend a meeting with someone or a meditation session with someone. Based on your past experiences, you are worried, you are tense, you are imagining what is going to happen or what may happen. You have moved away. So there is no need to think about it. Suddenly you will become aware that you have not known many things which are continuously happening in your mind, making you tense, making you disturbed. You have not felt your body, you have not felt your hands, you have not ever felt it, what it says to you, and what is continuously going on, informing you how it feels, what will happen when you will enter into the meeting with this person or in the meditation section. Sometimes it is very heavy and sad. Sometimes it feels happy and light. Sometimes everything flows in it. Other times everything is dead. Sometimes you feel alive, dancing. Other times there is no life, frozen, dead, hanging on you, tense, disturbed, but you are not alive. When you start feeling your being, you will come to know the moods of your hand, moods of your eyes, your nose, your body. It is a great phenomenon. There is subtle nuances in it. The body goes on telling you, and you are not ready to hear it. On one hand, you want to go into this meeting or the session, but at the same time, the past is hanging heavy on your shoulders. So you are not free to go into. It is a big phenomenon with subtle nuances. The body goes on telling you, and you are not ready to hear it. And existence is all around, trying to penetrate you in subtle ways, in many ways, but you are not aware. You are not there. You are not there to receive it, welcome it. When you start feeling existence, the whole world becomes alive for you in a totally new way, and you have not known this yet. Then you pass through the same street, and the street is not same for you because you are grounded in existence, in your being. You meet the same friend, but really they are not same because you are different. You come back to your house, and your wife or your husband you have lived with for years is not the same because you have changed. Meditation is not a doing, it is a process to change your approach, change your ways, change your understanding. Then it does not matter what is going to happen. Whatever is going to happen, it is happening on the surface. You are grounded in yourself. You are deep within in your own ecstasy. Now you are aware of your own being. And when you are aware of your own being, everything becomes pious, holy for you. You become aware of the other's being as well. If you are aware of your being, your inner depth, only then you will be aware of the presence, the beingness of the other. Otherwise, when you are meeting a person with the mind, you are meeting with his mind. And this is not the way of meditation. This is not the way of transcendence. When the wife becomes angry, you can enjoy even her anger, because now you can feel what is happening. And if you can feel it, anger will not look as anger. It will become love. If you can feel it deep down within you, then anger shows that still she or he loves you. Otherwise, she would not be angry. She still waits for you whole day, angry because she loves you. It is not indifference. Remember, anger or hate is not real opposite of love. Indifference is indifference. Indifference is the real opposite of, it should be the real world. When someone is indifferent to you, love is lost. If someone is not even ready to be angry with you, then everything is lost. But ordinarily, if your spouse is angry, you react more violently. You become aggressive. You cannot understand the symbolic meaning of it. You are not grounded in yourself. You have not really known your own anger. That is why you cannot understand the anger of others. If you have not understood, experienced, or lived your own inner silence, you will not understand that of the other. Once you get acquainted with your own existence, only then you will become aware of the existence of the other as well. And everyone is so mysterious, and everyone is such a deep abyss to be known. But that can only happen if you have dived within yourself rather than floating on the surface. Thinking, talking is like swimming, floating. You may float. Anyone, and remember, everyone that you come across is so mysterious, and everyone is in such a deep abyss to be known, an infinite possibility of being penetrated and known. And everyone is waiting for someone. Everyone is waiting that someone may penetrate, go deep, and feel his or her heart. When you are in a meditation session, how to go deep into that person, how to go deep into his beingness. It is a connection of being to beingness, not the connection of mind to mind. But because you have not known your own heart, you cannot know the heart of someone else. The nearest heart remains unknown to you, is unknown to you, so how can you know the others? How can you know the feeling of others? Have you known your feeling really? You move like a jumpy. You move in a crowd of jumpies where everyone is fast asleep. You have only this much awareness that you pass through the fast sleeping people, and without any accident you come to whom, that is all. This much alertness you have. You pass through the crowd. This is the minimum which is possible for a man. That is why you are so bored and dull. Life becomes a long heaviness, and deep down everyone is waiting for the moment of death in order to be delivered from life. Death seems to be the only hope. Enough.